Don't let the weather ruin your 4th of July plans. We have the forecast for the big race weekend.
Plus, how law enforcement is making sure you're safe on the water, the roads, and in public places this holiday weekend.
And Mobe Marine's new project to help control red tide. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us.
Well, it's a big weekend for outdoor events across the Suncoast, and summer showers should not ruin your plans.
In fact, the rain has already gotten a head start. As you can see, there was some flooding earlier today on US 41 in front of the Van Wazel. Let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
A lot of folks heading to the beaches, obviously, this weekend for the big races and just people out enjoying this weekend for 4th of July. Now, we're going to see some scattered storms out there for boaters. We'll have winds out of the south, so it's not going to be a big windy day and causing high seas or anything like that, but that is going to be an issue with some scattered storms around. Now, not everyone's going to get those rainstorms, and we'll have a light chop on the bays and in the waters. There won't be a whole lot of sun, so as far as getting out there and doing some sunbathing, I don't think that's a big deal as far as that goes. We're going to see a lot of clouds around. UV index will be an 8, 87 for area beaches. So temperatures slightly below average because of the increased cloud cover. A lot of folks will be in the water too, and that's pretty warm. Now, the red tide report has come out too, and that's a big factor for people heading out to the beaches. Good news is that the counts have gone down in Sarasota County, but they're still there, especially into South Sarasota County. But all the reds that you see here, that's 1 million cells per liter. That's huge, and that can cause big kills as far as fish go and marine life. It goes to moderate in just a couple of places in Sarasota County and then light elsewhere. And there's 12 samples now. I remember this just a week and a half ago was up to 31, so that's a little bit better. As far as the rain goes, we're not looking at a lot of rainfall for us over the weekend as far as severe weather goes. There's a slight chance for that. By the way, 4th forecast, we'll have more on this a little bit later. We're calling for a chance for showers and a few scattered thunderstorms around at 9 o'clock when most fireworks are going to be starting to go off. More on the weather coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. This weekend is the busiest boating weekend of the year here in Sarasota, which means more Marine Patrol units are hitting the water. Not only is the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix in town, but today also kicks off Operation Dry Water, a national campaign to bring awareness to boating under the influence. Typically, there's 1 or 2 Marine Patrol officers out on city waters, but this weekend there will be 5 officers on the water from SPD alone. An additional 10 agencies will be helping them enforce the law.
The hope is that people won't do it. They'll make smarter choices, get designated drivers. It really is about prevention and saving lives. That's why they do it, so what a great weekend to have it.
Now, if you're caught driving a boat under the influence, officers will take you to land and begin a DUI investigation. If you get a BUI, you'll get a $500 fine, you will be arrested and go to jail.
And on the roads, the Florida Highway Patrol will be out in extra numbers this weekend ahead of the 4th of July holiday. Troopers will be focusing on speeders, aggressive drivers, and those who are impaired by drugs or alcohol. According to AAA, more Americans will travel this 4th of July than ever before, meaning the roads will be even busier than normal.
We're now the 3rd largest state, 20 million residents, over 100 million visitors a year. And in the summer, our roads get even more busy. So again, we want to make sure we're not texting while driving, not being distracted while driving. Pay attention to where we're going and what we're doing.
Troopers say there were more than 64,000 speeding tickets written last July, and that was more than any other month of 2017.
And the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office wants to offer some safety tips for people planning to join in on those 4th of July weekend festivities. They recommend you arrive early and plan your route ahead of time. Large crowds, of course, mean lots of traffic, so pack your patience. They also suggest you forego driving altogether and consider using public transportation or hire an Uber or Lyft. Deputies also want to remind you that fireworks that leave the ground or explode are illegal and can lead to criminal charges. If you're traveling with a small child, try taking a picture with your cell phone so if they do get lost, you can show law enforcement what they look like. Well, we've been keeping you updated with all of the new information on red tide and its big impact here on the Suncoast. Mote Marine Lab scientists say it's hard to say if this bloom is among the worst we've seen in recent years.
But tonight they're launching brand new efforts to stop it. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano is live at the lab in Sarasota with a look at new weapons in the war on red tide. Taylor?
Good evening, Scott. Jacqueline, it's not just killing our fish, it's also keeping many away from the best beaches in our nation. But good news, Moat says it's heard your sneezes and it's working around the clock to find a solution.
From Siesta Key to Nokomis, Venice, it's even taking over as far south as Manasota Key and Boca Grande.
I smell something else down the beach.
This is the worst that I've seen.
The scientists say this bloom has been present off and on since October, but in the last 2 weeks, the red tide has been particularly bad.
Anytime we have a bloom that impacts people, we consider it, bad enough to study it and to try to figure out what we can do about it.
Which is why Moat has launched a series of brand new studies that might help control it.
This is one of the living dock or the artificial reef structures that we've built.
Or, in other words, PVC pipe and mesh molded into a cube and left by the dock to attract filter feeders.
We have some tube worms and barnacles and tunicates, all of which are filter feeders that help remove particles from the water. Since their function is to remove particles from the water, that perhaps we can use them to remove red tide from the water.
Unfortunately, this would only work in smaller concentrations, such as residential canals. Scientists are also looking to use seaweed that would kill red tide, but even this would not be that permanent fix for bigger bodies of water.
To think that you can do something in this large volume of water is very difficult. Our blooms can be 100 miles long and 50 miles wide, and that's a lot of area to cover to put anything on it.
But they are confident that they will continue to make strides towards controlling it without harming the natural ecosystems.
We'll never have a mitigation method that really works without research. Research is, to us at Moat, it's everything.
Now, Moat says it has also launched this app that allows beachgoers to mark whether or not they're seeing the effects of red tide. It will help both beachgoers and Moat determine where those blooms are the strongest. I'm live at Moat Marine Laboratory. Taylor Torgano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. New at 6, 5 people are caught on drug charges thanks to an undercover investigation in Sarasota County. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office say they've been tracking down 5 people since last week who were suspected of drug trafficking. Last Wednesday, they began surveillance on a neighborhood in Sarasota. Once a package was delivered, they issued a search warrant at a home on Galleon Drive and found more than 1,000 MDMA pills, commonly known as Molly. This week, they searched another home about 15 minutes away and found several other drugs. They confiscated about $45,000 worth of drugs in total.
Happening in South Florida, authorities are investigating what sparked a fire at an auto parts business in Opelika. Police say it sparked around 9:30 this morning. Firefighters say workers were using a welding torch, and then a spark got it out of control. It took firefighters a while to get to the scene because there was road construction in the area. 9 cars were destroyed in the fire, but no one, fortunately, was hurt. A dolphin nicknamed Sharky is released back into the Atlantic Ocean today. 4 months of rehab following a shark attack. The dolphin was treated at SeaWorld's rehabilitation facility after her February rescue on Ponte Vedra Beach. The animal suffered multiple shark bites. She was also emaciated and suffering from pneumonia. After months of round-the-clock care, Sharky was finally well enough to be released back into the ocean yesterday. A recycled SpaceX capsule is back in orbit today, this time carrying about 6,000 pounds of supplies to the International Space Station. The cargo included a robot, some mice, some super caffeinated coffee for the crew up there. The shipment packed into a recycled capsule should reach the station by Monday.
I could use some of that super caffeinated coffee, Scott. Thank you. Still to come on your Suncoast News, the Comcast outage affecting hundreds of homes across the United States, including right here in Florida. Plus, we'll take you to the location of a no swim advisory here in Sarasota County.
I'll be right back. Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
I'll be right back.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
In consumer news, Comcast experiencing a nationwide outage right now. Several states reporting issues with Comcast servers right now, including Florida. It's affecting customers' internet, video streaming, and phones. The company telling CNBC it's aware of the outage and they've identified the problem. It's a fiber cut and it's now working to restore service. This is the second Comcast outage in the past few weeks. Earlier this month, Comcast phone service went down.
Sarasota Memorial Hospital is being recognized for its cardiology department. The American Heart Association crediting the hospital for becoming the first in Florida to become certified as a cardiac center of excellence. It's also ranked 4th in the nation. This is the highest level of accreditation for a cardiac center. They were judged on their level of care, including patient engagement, external support, and their training of their staff.
Holmes Beach Police partnering with business owners and residents to keep the city safe. Police starting a new program called Project Rascal, which stands for Register All Security Camera Equipment Locations. To take part, you can register privately owned video surveillance cameras with the police department. And then if a crime happens, police officers will be able to use Project Rascal to quickly identify which cameras are available and then request video footage for their investigations. Contact Holmes Beach Police to take part.
The Florida Health Department in Sarasota County is extending the no swim advisory for Bird Key Park.
The park, located between downtown Sarasota and Lido Key, remains open, but visitors are advised to stay out of the water there. ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live. Adam, what are the current conditions out there tonight?
Well, Scott and Jacqueline, you could see the sign posted up here by the launch for canoes and kayaks. Really looking at the water, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, and standing here, I'm pretty much fine, but if I take a couple steps back, you kind of get hit with this overwhelming smell, and that's what the regulars here say has been really lingering around for this past week, and it could be connected to the high levels of bacteria that the health department is reading here. It was an unusually calm Friday at Bird Key Park.
I'm surprised how quiet it is with no cars in the parking lot.
Frank Dixon was nearly alone, admiring the view normally cluttered with kayaks, paddle boards, and pedestrians. Not these yellow signs warning visitors to stay out of the water. The Florida Department of Health in Sarasota County found harmful levels of Enterococcus bacteria in water samples on Thursday and Friday. Ingesting it can cause stomach illness, and contact with a cut or a sore can cause an infection. But it's a smell visitors say has been making park visits unbearable this week.
Just driving by, you had to roll up your windows.
I haven't been out in a while because I was trying to avoid this, so I probably won't be back for a little while either.
Here under the bridge, it feels like ground zero. I actually used to work in an operating room, and this is next level. This is some terrible stuff.
Health experts have found no sewage spills here, just these algae mats with decaying organisms local scientists say could be the cause. Health experts calling these mats bacteria reservoirs, possibly adding to both issues. Bob Surgeon has seen another problem: irresponsible pet owners.
A person has dropped a bag of ugly stuff there, and the trash can is less than 15 feet away, and they just left it there, and I will tell you I picked it up and brought it to the trash can.
The health department says that's key to keeping harmful runoff and bacteria outbreaks away from our shorelines. And Bird Key Park is still the only shoreline with a no-swim advisory in Sarasota County, but the health department was monitoring some other beaches that showed the presence of this naturally occurring bacteria. For a full list of those beaches and the levels to which that bacteria is present, you can visit our website, mysuncoast.com. You just have to look for the link to this story. Reporting live on Bird Key, I'm Adam Cellini. Back to you in the studio.
Adam, thank you so much. Pretty quiet out there this evening with some cloud cover.
Yeah, cloud cover, just a little bit of light rain. It could have been a lot worse. Obviously, in the summer months, we typically see the big storms right around now. But because of this low-pressure trough over the northern Gulf of Mexico, let's change things up a little bit. And starting off, changing up this photo, not just the clouds and showers, but this, again, snowy white egret with a little bit of a fish. Looks like a bait fish. Norm Schimmel. Norm, yes, getting that shot. You can always tell the snowy white egrets because they have the yellow talons there, okay, as opposed to the black ones. Those are the great white egrets that you see, and they're much bigger than those, but beautiful birds, and they're smart too. They sometimes can actually steal bait out of the bait wells. Here's a look at a great lightning shot again. This was from last night, just around sunset, and this is the guy, Dylan. John Wade Cox getting that shot. He has been getting quite a few of those lightning strikes along with other folks who are part of the lightning mafia, they call themselves, and they go out and they get some great shots. Here's a Lakewood Ranch webcam showing a lot of clouds there in Lakewood Ranch too, and that's going to be a trend. I think on Saturday we're not looking at a lot of sunshine, so sunbathers not going to get the sun that you would want at this point, but we will see some breaks in the clouds now and again. There's a chance for some morning showers like we saw today near the coast, and those will work slowly inland throughout the late morning, early afternoon, and you may get a little bit of rainfall, while you may not in some other areas. Now this low pressure trough still is hanging out here over the Gulf of Mexico. There may be a little circulation that will develop, but it will travel northward, I think, over the upcoming days, but close enough to us to break down that high pressure ridge, which has been really dominating our weather as of late with not much rainfall, but that has changed now with that high pressure weakening, pushing away, a little bit more lift in the atmosphere, allowing us to see some showers and storms developing at almost any time during the day, but maybe a little break like we saw today in the afternoon hours. Now, one or two storms have popped up recently inland, and the rain that was around, looks like Lido and where Adam was just a minute ago is for the most part gone. Some light sprinkles still lingering there. Some showers over Tampa Bay. This is the area that has just kind of flared up inland, and that's continuing to push off to the east. But all in all, pretty quiet night. Inglewood getting a little light rainfall. If you have some plans this evening, not a problem for most areas, at least for the next couple of hours. I think we will see some redevelopment, though, with water temperatures in the upper 80s and a little low pressure area to the north of us. That always is a sign of some showers and storms developing in the Gulf. Well, the rainfall amounts near the coast weren't all that impressive. As you see there, one area in particular in central Sarasota County, which has been getting a lot of rainfall in June, got over an inch there. Parrish, we'll query that and see they had about 3/10, although some areas near Parrish had a little bit more than that, up to an inch in some isolated areas. Friday evening, calling for a few showers around, not much. Don't cancel your outdoor plans. 9, 10 o'clock, we may still see a few around. I think a little bit better chance after midnight for some redevelopment like we saw last night out there in the Gulf. 83 degrees right now. The nice thing, it's cooled down as a result of the clouds and showers that have been around. The high today was below average at 87. The low was 80. We're below average rainfall, too, quite a bit, 3.69 inches at the Sarasota Braden Airport. So we'll take you to the forecast now. Beach and boating tomorrow looks like this. We saw it earlier. South winds at 10 knots. So the winds and seas won't be a big problem. The only problem may be is a few isolated thunderstorms. Obviously, they'll still race the races in light showers and moderate showers, but if there's any lightning around, they have to postpone that. 60% chance for scattered storms tomorrow. And a little bit of sunshine now and again. And then Sunday, 40%. Goes down a little bit. That'll be the bigger races, by the way. Monday, 50% chance, and then 40 after that, all the way through the 4th of July evening. And we're calling for a few widely scattered storms, even at the time of fireworks on Wednesday night. But that's always the case here in Florida during summer. Back to you.
It is. Thank you, Bob. Stay with us.
When we come back, everything you need to know for the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix races this weekend.
Tonight, another mass shooting. This time, a newspaper newsroom targeted. Several dead and injured. New details about the gunman and what we're learning about a possible motive. World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Patriotic Spectacular July 4th, 4:30 p.m. at First Church, Sarasota. Choral Artists of Sarasota's annual Independence Day celebration features traditional patriotic favorites, plus a choral salute to the 100th anniversary of Leonard Bernstein and a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. narrated by Nate Jacobs. Come for the concert and stay for the fireworks over Sarasota Bay. Tickets at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
The waters will be taken over this weekend by boaters who have a need for speed, and you can see it all for free. The annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix boat races will take place on Lido Beach tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. The festival director reminds people if you want to watch the races from the beach, make sure to get out there early. But rain or shine, the race will go on.
And the only time the race is halted is if there's lightning. So we have a big tent you can sit under, you can watch the boats get craned in, ramped in, and also we have a huge Jumbotron where you can watch a live stream of all the racing action on Saturday and Sunday.
New Pass will be closed from 8:30 tomorrow morning until the races are over, and the boat ramp will also be closed to the public until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Law enforcement and Coast Guard officials will also be helping people out if they have any questions. Stay safe out there for that.
I was just reminiscing about the first one way back in 1985. I remember covering that
long
from New
route.
Pass.
Yeah, long route. You were talking about that. A little bit shorter route, and hopefully they won't run into too many showers or storms to cause any halt there. But we're looking at just a few light rain showers right now across the area. Rain chances 60% tomorrow. We'll see a little bit of sunshine, less of a chance on Sunday. That's when the big races take place. And,
fastest boats.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
We'll see you again at 7 and 11. Have a wonderful and safe holiday weekend.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Suncoast Charities for Children and Powerboat P1 encourages you to share the beach with our marine wildlife during the Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Festival. You can share the beach with our amazing sea turtles by waiting until sunrise to set up. Stay clear of nesting areas for our beautiful birds, and please don't forget our beloved manatees. Never swim towards them, and always obey manatees' slow speed zones. Together, we can all enjoy the races and share the beach. You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.